what are some of the top 3 things you need to remember to avoid early costly mistakes?
All right. So before you even click on become a Microsoft partner, one of the most important things to do is own your domain. If you are familiar with network solutions or GoDaddy, those services, you need to purchase that domain, make sure you have the receipt for the domain. And once you do that, that's like the beginning step for what you need to do. The second part of that is you need to have an email address that is tied to or associated with that domain. So for example, Integral is our domain, or integral.com. You would need to have an email address, my name Dexter at integral.com. So that way you are associated with and own that domain. The third thing is you will need a receipt or proof of ownership of the domain, which typically, I'll just use Network Solutions as the example. Once you're in your account or in your administrator portal, you can download the receipts or invoices of where that was paid, and you will be able to present that or need to present that as part of evidence of owning that domain. Last but not least, there is a service on the internet that's WHOIS, and in that WHOIS service, they can run a report to see who the registered agent is for the domain, who owns it. And if you want to avoid those costly mistakes of having to validate over and over again, you want to make sure that you're the registered agent, at least an admin or primary on the account, and that the email address associated with that person is from the domain of the company.
Perfect. Now, you have worked with quite a few folks to get them set up as a Microsoft partner, but there have also been folks that you've tried to connect with and they weren't so lucky. So what are the consequences if you don't have these first 3 steps taken care of before moving on to trying to become a Microsoft partner and setting up your Partner Center profile?
Yeah, unfortunately for people who, if you get in a hurry and try to skip steps, at least early in the foundation component, it can be very costly. And so I've had some people who went into the partner portal, didn't have that information. You get about 3 opportunities to provide the information or 3 chances for validation. And then if it doesn't pass, you get caught up in this, it gets denied. And then you have to go through trying to enter in tickets and going outside of the normal path. So what we want to do is keep you on the happy path where you are, you have the information already ready and gathered. You already kind of know what the preconditions are. So you kind of get that. And I'll give you a sense of context around how long that's been. So I've had some partners who get into that path of didn't have the information ready on hand, and they're 3 months into it and still going. And again, time to market is key. When you're looking to publish something in the Azure Marketplace, you can only publish if you're a Microsoft partner. So we don't need to add on top of your development schedule and your developers and all the other things that you're trying to accomplish in your business. Now you're adding in, how do I even become a partner? And so we're trying to reduce that frustration and make sure that you're taken care of. So a range of, once you get into that ticketing follow-up, the scenario could be anywhere from 1 month to the worst case I've seen is 5 months.
That is rough. That sounds like a loss of time, money, and resources. So that's where you don't want to be. So the keys are, as we wrap up this module, are make sure you first own your domain.
Correct.
The second is make sure that you have a proof of purchase of your domain. And the third is make sure you have an email address that you can communicate with Microsoft through your domain.
Absolutely.
Perfect.